Okay, so what we're going to talk about today, I'm really excited. So today is part 2 of our using AI as your marketing assistant. Yes, Monique, it is a beautiful view. It's going to be raining here in probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. So I'm going to be on live with you all for a little bit, and then I'm going to go hop up on the paddleboard and take the dog out and get out on the lake before the weather gets icky. So okay, so today I'm really excited to get to bring you part 2 of our 3-part series around using AI for your marketing assistant, and really why I love the options in using AI this way is that we can communicate and get our message out to more people in more ways, and it really helps our reach grow without losing our voice. We're never using AI to write anything or create anything for us from scratch, but we are using it as an assistant, right, to help us to draft things or to synthesize things. And so we're going to talk more about that today. So I'm so glad to see you all here. And so just as a point of introduction, I'm Melissa Kellogg Lueck. I am the CEO and founder of the Avant channel that is free and paid subscription. And right here on Substack is where all of my best teachings, my best work lives. And so you're in the right place. And I'm so glad you're here and joining us today. I absolutely love helping women entrepreneurs to create greater freedom for themselves and their families through entrepreneurship. And I teach a lot about marketing because that's my wheelhouse. I've been working in marketing and been a marketing expert for 21 years. And so and now we get to talk about AI and the immense capabilities of this technology to really help us to increase our reach and help more people, right? And grow our business and do it simply and with more freedom. So I am so glad, Sarah. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you created your instructions for Claude. Yes. So, okay. It's awesome because I have even more goodness for you today. Now I'm just trying to get my windows to cooperate with me here. Okay. Because I want to be able to see the chat and also my notes because I have some good stuff for you today. All right. So last week I talked about the 3 ways that I'm using AI as my marketing assistant. Number 1, really helping me to make sure all of my marketing projects and tasks and things that I want to prioritize during the week are on my calendar. So AI really helps me with calendaring. It goes and compares my calendar to my, grabs any pertinent emails and looks at my Asana project management system and makes sure that it all gels. So and is consistent with the goals I have given it for the week. So that's one way I use it. The second way I use it is helping me to create come up with ideas and synthesize a lot of the wisdom and knowledge that I'm creating at all times. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm going to just wipe off my, okay, there we go. And so the third way is that I use AI is repurposing content. So we're going to talk about that next week. And but today I want to talk with you about how I use AI to help me come up with ideas and also put those ideas out into the world. So what we're going to talk about today is how you capture ideas, how you synthesize those ideas, and then how you publish them and put them out into the world to serve people, right? And to attract clients and people into your world. So it's so interesting to think just a couple of years ago, before I started using AI, I would create, I had to create multiple pieces of content every week. I would create, for example, I'd write my podcast and then I would record it. And then I would have to write the show notes for that. I'd have to write the email announcement for that. And then all the social media posts. And it was all like just copy, obviously the podcast was audio, but it was all then copywriting, right? And that process of coming up with the idea, writing the outline, recording the episode, and then sending it off. I've always had a team member help me with editing. And then so they've got to take some time to do that. And then I would write the show notes, the email announcement, and all the social media posts. That would take me hours and hours of work, probably half of a day during a week, right? For one marketing deliverable, just around the podcast, right? And now I can, I'll talk more about how I do this as we go along, but now I can come up with ideas, not based on just what I'm thinking about at the moment, but based on what's going on in my industry, what I'm hearing from my clients, what I am teaching and talking about, what I'm writing about, all the notes, things that I'm journaling about. And so those ideas for creating resources and tools and valuable content served us clients, and right? And all we have to do is have a really great system to capture them, synthesize them, and use them. And I think for me, I've always have ideas flowing, right? But my challenge, so tell me if you guys can relate, my challenge has always been like bringing them all together and then synthesizing them in a way that I can put everything that I'm learning and thinking about and teaching back out into the world to serve more women. So do any of you have that challenge? Have you ever experienced that challenge, like that you have all these ideas and it's just hard to bring them all together and create something that's meaningful? Because I do believe that we have ideas around us at all times, right? And then so that's always been a challenge for me. And then also creating, the resources like freebies or tools. That's always been a stumbling block for me too. Okay, Sarah, thank you. Yes. And so AI has changed all of that for me and made it so much simpler. And so I'm going to teach you today what that process is and how we can actually bring together all of these great ideas we have and really put them in a useful format and get them back out into the world. So first of all, I want you to think about, okay, hold on. I have to move my screen so I can see the comments. So Monique, I have all the ideas, but not enough time to do all the, oh, me too. And so this is really going to help you because that's the way I have created all of and designed the way I use AI based on what my biggest stumbling blocks are and the things that have really held me up. So this is perfect. That's going to be really helpful for you too. So first of all, what I want you to think about is where are all the places that you capture your thoughts and ideas, your reflections, your notes, your stories. And I have I keep a note, I have notes app in my phone on my iPhone, right? I use Evernote. So the notes that I'm using to teach you today, I created in Evernote, which is an app. So I've been a subscriber to that since I think 2013. So I have like I don't know, 13 years of ideas in that one app, right? So I have notes in my phone. I've got notes in Evernote. I'm a journaler, right? So I have journal entries. I have, all of the meetings, the teachings, the client sessions. I have all of that too, where my intellectual property is and my thought leadership is being created, right? And so it used to be all of those things would live siloed from one another, right? And the only way I could bring them together would be if I don't know, I just didn't really even bring them together. I would just see what kind of was bubbling up and develop content around that. But now what I do is so much more like organized and valuable because I use all of those different places. I have AI collect all of those notes and things in those different places and then bring it all together. So now I'm using the notes, that I've compiled on my phone, my journal entries, call transcripts, frameworks I've already created because obviously AI has memory, right? So I have one project in my Claude that is a copywriting project. And so it knows, my brand voice, like I taught last week, how to create your brand voice. And then it has memory of all the things that I've already put in there. And it brings it all together. And so using AI this way has really helped me to create much better, juicier, more useful, more valuable teaching and content. And I mean, being a woman of middle age, I forget a lot of things. I forget about frameworks that I've created. And it doesn't forget, right? So it can bring those back to my awareness. And so the framework I'm going to teach you today is a 3-step framework. So number 1, we're going to capture ideas. Number 2, we're going to synthesize them. And number 3, we're going to publish them. Okay. So if we're thinking about capturing your ideas, I want you to consider creating a process for yourself that makes it easy and simple to capture your ideas. And so what my system looks like for me is, well, first of all, I want you to remember that most ideas will come to you when you're not sitting at your computer or at your desk in front of that blank screen with the blinking cursor, right? That's not, at least for me, and for I think the vast majority, 2/3 of people, studies have shown, I think it's either 60 or 80% of people, sitting in front of a computer with a blank screen and a blinking cursor is not where they get their best ideas. For most of us, our best ideas come to us in other places. Like for me, it's while I'm taking a walk or when I'm driving in the car, right? Or when I'm in the shower, or sitting outside on the patio in the morning, having my first cup of coffee, watching the sunrise. Those are when my best ideas come. When do your ladies' best ideas come? I'd love to hear. And so what you want to do is think about, when do my best ideas come? And then I want to have a way to capture them. So for example, if you love speaking out your ideas, yeah, Sarah, in the shower, that happens to me. So you want to have a way that you can capture those ideas, right? So for example, if you're driving in your car, this works in the shower too, is have your voice recorder easily reachable on your phone, right? And so then you can just speak those ideas. You can speak those ideas into your voice recorder. And on iPhone, at least, I'm not sure about the Android platform, but which I imagine it does the same thing. But your voice recorder will transcribe your voice notes. And so then you have the voice, and then you have the audio, and now you also have the transcript, right? Monique, same, and one thing in the AM, or yeah, like in the middle of the night. Yeah, for me too. In the middle of the night, 3 a.m. is my perfect time. Anyway, so make sure I will have a voice recorder that I use, and so I can use my Evernote also they have a voice recorder. I also use my notes app a lot. Like if I don't have my journal with me, and I have ideas, I will just put them in my notes app. And I know Taylor Swift does the same thing. She said I heard an interview with her. I don't know if it was on her documentary or whatever, but her notes app is just like, forever long, because she puts ideas for songs in there. So anytime she wants to write a new song, she just goes into her notes app and has it there. So just think about, for you, my ideas come, in the shower or driving or on a walk. How am I going to capture that? Because I don't know about you, and especially for me, Monique, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have an idea, some brilliant thing comes to me, I'm always like, oh, I'll remember it. I'm sure I'll remember it. And sure enough, in the morning, I don't remember it, right? So make sure you have a way that's super simple for you to, and our phones are always with us, so it's always easy to grab that phone and do the voice note or whatever. But set up, if you really value your ideas and your brilliance, which I encourage you to highly value that, then you will have a way to capture those, because I believe that we are basically a conduit of ideas and value, right? So those ideas that come to us, those pearls of wisdom, are meant for us to receive and then for us to put out into the world. And so I never want to, I'm trying really hard to have that system so that I'm not, quote unquote, wasting those ideas, right? And so that's number one, is to capture those ideas and have a place where you capture those. So I, capture them in my notes app, in my Evernote, in my journal, in my Evernote app. So that's one place I capture them. And then there's also, if you're meeting with people, talking with people, serving people throughout the week, which I know you all are, then there's a lot of value that is included in all of that as well. So make sure you're capturing all of those conversations, whether it's, recording and transcribing those. So I'll use call transcripts. I will also take notes after maybe I'm speaking to someone in person and we have a really juicy conversation. I will make a point, if it's an in-person meeting, I go to my car, or I'll just, take what we talked about that I want to remember that was so juicy. And then, so really intentionally capturing those ideas. And so I'd love to hear how you all are capturing ideas, or what's landing with you with this capture section. And then, so then once you've captured those, number two is synthesizing. So the second step here is we want to synthesize, which means bringing them all together and turning them, I think about, it's like alchemizing, like all the things we're learning and reading and watching and talking about, bringing them all together and then putting them into this beautiful mixture that only you can create, and putting them back out into the world. I think it's just such a beautiful process, and AI is so helpful for this. So Monique uses the Notes app primarily. Perfect. I love that. So once you are capturing your ideas and knowing where they are, because that's also important. I lose things. Like I create, brilliant files, and then I've saved it somewhere and I can't remember. I don't know if that ever happens to you, but which is why I love the Google platform, because their search is so powerful, right? So I will grab all of those source documents, materials, files, and dump them into my AI. And I think, as I mentioned last time, I primarily use Claude now. And so I will dump all of those things into AI, into one project, my copywriting project. And then I will ask it to look for threads, through lines, that I can develop further. I will ask it to pull out stories that I've told, or frameworks maybe that I created, just in a conversation or in a coaching session. And then I will also ask it to pull out common questions that people ask me, common challenges that my clients have, because that really helps me to synthesize and to bring this all together and create very valuable content with all of those ideas, notes, transcripts, right? So I have this personally built, I've personally built a content flywheel, what I call a content flywheel, that I run each week, and it just runs on its own. And Claude will draft. I have it so that Claude will draft a few ideas, and then it presents them back to me and says, this is all the things I'm noticing. These are some ideas that you could build out. And then I decide which ideas I want to develop further. And then based on my words, my ideas, my frameworks, my teachings, I ask it to draft an article. So my primary publishing platform right now is right here on Substack, right? And so I ask it to draft an article that I can use here on Substack, which I then edit and put my own flavor, my own seasoning into, right? My personality. And then I'll put that back into Claude, and then she will create, social media posts, notes, etc. And I'm actually hosting a live workshop for all paid subscribers to my Substack channel right here. And so together, we're going to live on Zoom. We're going to create a content flywheel in Claude for you. And I'm going to show you how I did that. And then, so that's on Wednesday, August 5th at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, for all of our paid subscribers. So if you're not yet a paid subscriber, make sure to click that subscribe button and subscribe to our Substack. And so once you have all of those synthesized notes and so forth in that one project, in your AI tool, you always have it there. And AI is now training, learning more about you and your teachings and your frameworks. And I love that, because it really helps me to remember all that I've created, right? Okay, so that's our number 2 step, the synthesize. Does that make sense? How you're bringing all those things together and putting them into AI so that it can pull out common themes, frameworks, stories, all of that. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions so far on what we've covered? How's it landing for you? This seems doable. And I should point to my Substack, and I'll send out to all the subscribers the special resource from today with some prompts and the notes, the recap, like I did last week. So, okay, Monique, yep, makes sense. Awesome. Okay, so then our third step is to publish. And so you get to decide, based on how you like to serve your community, how you want to use all these ideas. But now that you've synthesized all of your things within, and you've got all that, your raw materials in your AI tool, Then you can ask it to draft posts. And I like to always tell it to use my words, my ideas, don't make anything up. You can have it draft blog posts or Substack articles. Since y'all are here on Substack, I know you're using Substack. So it's great for Substack articles, podcast episode ideas. Saying that for my friend Monique, as I know she's putting a podcast out sometime soon here. Videos, you can use those for ideas for live videos or video trainings. Maybe you create workshops, in person or online workshops. And so you can decide how you want to use all of this raw material, how you want AI to synthesize it for you and to help you publish it and put it back out into the world. All right. So then I always ask AI to draft the output, whether it's a post or an article, whatever. And then I am the chief editor, right? So I edit it. I go back through it. I add in put in my own stories if they're not already in there. And you can also use AI to help you create quote cards. Is a really great use of AI, or graphics. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. I've gone both ways on the graphics, but it's really great for quote cards. And so, what once took me probably half of a day in terms of quantity of content, I can now create in an hour, because what I'm doing is, rather than sitting down in front of a blank screen, I'm taking all of the ideas, notes, thoughts, all of that I have amassed during the course of a week, and I am having AI help me synthesize it and then help me create publishing ideas that I can publish and put out into the world, right? And so that has drastically helped me increase my reach, and also serve more people. So thank you for being here, Sarah. Yes, I'm wrapping up now, so hopefully this was helpful. And I would love to hear what your biggest, for all of us here, I'd love to hear what your biggest takeaway is. If you have any questions. And like I said, on August 5th, I'm going to be hosting a live Zoom session with me to work with you as a group of subscribers on your content flywheel and help you build that out so that it works for you and your business, and how you create content, how you create ideas. And so you can put things into different formats and serve more people, increase your reach. And so just make sure you're a paid subscriber and you will get an invitation to that. And so just to wrap up for today, please let me know if you have any questions. But the main idea is that AI can really be a great way to help us create ideas and synthesize the work, the idea, the thought leadership, the intellectual property that we're creating every day in our businesses. And I think sometimes we don't really understand how much great stuff we're actually creating all throughout the week, right? That it doesn't require just sitting down in front of a blank screen and starting from scratch. You have so much of value already in motion, in process, out in the world. Let's help you to use that in a way that it can help more people and help you build your business simpler, easier, with your own ideas using this great technology. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can always respond or reply to this video, and those will come straight to me. And I would love to help you really make marketing simple, because it really is a great way to serve your future clients. And I want you to have more time, more energy to be out serving, meeting people, and creating more great value for your people, and not just sitting around, trying to think of great ideas that from scratch, because I know you have lots of great value in there. So All right, I'm going to wrap this up for today. Monique is looking forward to the flywheel class. Yes, it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about it, and you're going to love it. It's going to help so much. And I will have fun paddleboarding. Yes, it's gorgeous out. I think we'll give you the weather report because I'm a kind of a weather nerd. It's 67 degrees here, but super sunny. So I'm going to get out on the lake, and I hope the rest of you have a fabulous rest of your week. And I will see you right back here next Wednesday, same time, same place. And I'll still actually be here in the mountains. So you'll see the similar backdrop. And I'm going to be teaching how I use AI to repurpose content from one source in 3 to 10 different ways. And so you can put your great ideas into different formats to help different people, right? Because people hear and see and watch and listen to things differently. And so the more ways that we can serve them, the greater impact we'll have. All right. Thank you, Monique. Thank you all for being here. And I will see you right back here next week. Bye.